Hi, Dr. Daniel. This is Chriselle. I just wanted to thank you so much for providing that article, that reference by Lamb, Catanzaro, and Moorman, 2003. I thought it was very insightful of just the different findings of sexual relationships between a professional counselor and their client and students. So I guess to start it off, one thing that I found that was actually quite interesting was in that section of the article, and it was titled "Engaging in Sexual Relationships as a Client, Supervisee, and/or Student." And I thought it was interesting that, it first says that 36 out of the 368 students or individuals reported at least one sexual boundary violation during their own psychotherapy, supervision experience, or education. And it also says that of those 36 individuals, 5 of them, or 14% of them, reported that they had relationships or sexual relationships with their therapist. 15 of them said that they had relationships with their supervisors, and 21 were with their teachers. And I thought that was really interesting because of just the huge percentage of the sexual relationships that were among a supervisor and a supervisee. And so I thought that was really interesting, and I didn't think that would be so high. I thought that the clients would be higher. And then it also gave a report that 21 of them, of the 36, so 58%, were they had sexual relationships with their teachers, and I thought that was interesting too. And so moving on, of those reported, there was a high percentage of them being men having sexual boundary violations, and the women represented the vast majority of individuals who reported as clients, supervisees, or students. And so I thought that was just really interesting that that the percentages were just so high in these professionals. In that article, it also gave reasons as to why psychologists may have engaged in these sexual relationships within the counseling session, and it indicated that it was due to their life circumstances or cues they believe that had an influence on their developing the sexual relationship. And so they went on and said and gave 2 general types of circumstances that these might occur, and the first one was those related to dissatisfaction in their personal life. So these counselors reported that they were depressed, alienated from their family, they were lonely, recently divorced, and wanted to be loved. And they felt insecure, and so they were in a really vulnerable state, which is what led to those sexual relationships. And then the second circumstance that counselors reported were actual activities and interactions related to the other person. And so they had interacted socially in group situations, contacted each other after sessions, spent time outside of sessions, and even dreamed and fantasized about their client. So I thought that was really insightful, of kind of like a precursor as to how they, started this sexual relationship with their client. And so I thought that was really helpful and very insightful. So thank you so much for sharing.